Rich woman sees her son's name on a child's necklace, then finds the mother crying at his grave. Eleanor Whitmore had everything, at least, that's what the world believed. A mansion nestled in the green hills of Connecticut, luxury cars that lined her driveway like museum pieces, and a name etched into the plaques of every major charity in the region. But none of it filled the quiet space left behind by her only son, Jason. It had been 3 years since a tragic car accident took him from her. The echoes of his laughter still haunted the hallways, and not a day passed when she didn't long to hear him say, "Love you, Mom," one more time. That Sunday afternoon, the sun cast long golden rays over the park as Eleanor, dressed in her designer coat and sunglasses, walked her golden retriever, Max. The sound of children playing normally made her heart ache, but today, something caught her eye. A small boy, maybe 6 or 7, ran by with a joyful shout. Around his neck hung a simple, silver chain with a name engraved on a heart-shaped pendant. Jason. She stopped walking. Her breath caught. That name, her Jason's name, sparkled in the sunlight as the boy darted after a butterfly. Eleanor blinked back tears and hurried over to the bench where a tired-looking woman sat, watching the boy. "Excuse me," Eleanor said gently, "I don't mean to intrude, but I saw your son's necklace. May I ask, why the name Jason?" The woman looked up, startled. Her eyes were puffy, as if she'd been crying not long ago, but she offered a polite, if weary, smile. "It's a long story." "I'd love to hear it," Eleanor replied softly, taking a seat beside her. The woman hesitated, glancing at her child, who was now crouching near a bush, fascinated by a ladybug. "His name is Micah," she began. "He's not mine by birth. I adopted him 2 years ago. Before that, he was in the hospital for a heart condition. He was barely holding on." Eleanor tilted her head, her heart pounding. "They said a donor had come through just in time," the woman continued, her voice cracking. "A little boy named Jason. His heart saved Micah's life." The world seemed to stop. Eleanor stared ahead, unable to speak. 1,000 memories flooded her at once, Jason's goofy smile, his piano recitals, the way he hugged her tighter than any child should. The woman went on. "After Micah recovered, I asked the hospital if I could honor the donor. They wouldn't share much, but they said the family wished to remain private. Still, I named the necklace after him. I wanted Micah to grow up knowing he carries someone else's love with him." Tears slipped down Eleanor's cheeks. "He does," she whispered. "He really does." The woman turned, confused. "You. I'm Jason's mother." The two sat in stunned silence. Eleanor's hand trembled as she reached into her purse and pulled out a photo of her son, the same joyful eyes, the same brown curls. "I've never met anyone who received his heart," she said. "I wasn't ready. But seeing your son, he looks so alive. So full of wonder. Just like Jason." The woman, her name was Rachel, covered her mouth with her hands. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Eleanor replied, her voice thick with emotion. "Just, thank you for loving him. Even in this new life." Micah wandered over then, his small fingers clutching a leaf. He looked up at Eleanor and smiled. "Hi. Your dog's cute." Eleanor chuckled through her tears. "His name's Max. He used to be Jason's dog." Micah knelt and hugged the golden retriever, who licked his face with warm enthusiasm. "He's really nice." As Rachel wiped her eyes, Eleanor asked, "Do you visit the cemetery?" Rachel nodded. "Every year on the anniversary. I bring flowers, even though I never met him. It just feels right." The silence between them was gentle, sacred. Then, a few weeks later, on a rainy afternoon in April, Eleanor went to visit Jason's grave. The cold, wet air clung to her coat, and the bouquet of lilies trembled in her hands. As she neared the headstone, she saw someone already there, Rachel. She stood in the drizzle with her umbrella low and her hand on the marble. Micah stood beside her, silent, a single daffodil in his hand. "I hope it's okay," Rachel said, startled as Eleanor approached. "Micah insisted we come early this year." Eleanor didn't answer. Instead, she bent down, placed her flowers beside the daffodil, and wrapped an arm around Rachel's shoulder. Together, the three of them stood in the rain, united by heartbreak, and by a heartbeat that still echoed in the world. Afterward, they went for coffee. That day turned into many days. Eleanor began visiting them often, bringing books for Micah, cooking dinners for Rachel, and laughing again, something she hadn't done in years. She even started volunteering at the children's hospital, inspired by Rachel's strength and Micah's second chance at life. Months passed, and Eleanor decided to set up a foundation in Jason's name, supporting families of organ donors and recipients. She invited Rachel to help lead it. "You're the other half of this story," she said. "I couldn't do it without you." At the foundation's launch, Micah, now 7 and strong, stood on stage holding Eleanor's hand. "Because of Jason," he said shyly into the microphone, "I get to play, and run, and be happy. Thank you, Jason. I love you." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. As applause thundered through the hall, Eleanor looked at Rachel and smiled. "He's not gone. Not really. He's right here." That night, Eleanor sat by the fireplace, watching Micah draw pictures of Super Jason, a superhero with a glowing heart who saved lives. And for the first time in 3 years, she didn't feel alone. Sometimes, the heart you lose finds its way back to you, beating stronger than ever, in someone else's chest. And love, true love, never dies.